Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Ashri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Chetariti Namini Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Suyavadi Pasachahade Satarini Vanchakalpatarvyascha Kripasindubhya Ivacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pankam lagayete grim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Akanda Mandalakram Vyaptayina Chara Charam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So everyone is welcome to today's session. And we are continuing with Canto 3, chapter 22, entitled The Marriage of Kadarma Muni and Devahuti. Yesterday, I think we got to text 7 or text 8. Where did we end yesterday? Is it 8 or 7?
That's 5. Today, we start from text 6.
I see. We ended text 5. All right.
Yeah.
We started from text 6. So, as usual, before we begin today's session, we'd like to connect with the discussions from yesterday. So if there is anything you can remember from yesterday, you can just share with us to give us a link with today's discussion. So is there anything one can remember from yesterday's discussion? Anything that interests you yesterday? Anything that stuck to your mind yesterday? You can share with us.
Yeah, Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat, our glorious to Gurudev.
Glory to Gurudev, glory to your dear self.
Yes,
Maharaj.
Yeah.
We close up with the importance of the association of saintly persons.
Okay.
For our crucial spiritual progress.
Yeah.
Actually, if we really want to progress, we need to find the association of spiritual personalities. And it is said that one should not visit a place where there are no Brahmanas or Krishna temples.
Yep.
Yeah.
One should not stay there. Yeah, that is true. Sadhu Sanghe Krishna Bhakti Shraddha Haya Yadi Shraddha Yadi Hoya Sadhu Sanghe Krishna Bhakti Shraddha Yadihaya. That devotional, that association with the devotees brings forth devotional service. And from devotional service, one develops strong faith in the Supreme Lord, in the words of the Supreme Lord. So, and the quality of association matters. And we get an opportunity to associate with very advanced souls, which is the advice of Rishabhadev. Lord Rishabhadev advises children, 100 children, in the 5th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that they should seek out an association of advanced souls and hear from them, render service to them. Then they can overcome the challenges of birth, death, disease, old age. So association, particularly quality association, is important. So one may ask a question, if I'm living far away from the temple, or I live in a place where there are no advanced devotees, how do I gain that association? Especially in this age, where we are far apart, and it's not very easy to locate a temple. So the easiest way to associate is to hear. And that one, there are no limitations, there are no boundaries. Especially in this our era, where there is so much on the YouTube, so much on the internet, we can always download lectures, unlimited lectures. You go to ISKCON Desire Tree, you find all the lectures of all the sannyasis and senior devotees on ISKCON Desire Tree. And you can listen to all those lectures. There are boxes, equipment that has all of Srila Prabhupada's lectures. From the very beginning of the movement till Prabhupada left the planet, all his lectures are captured, thousands of lectures, and one can listen to them. There are lectures of various sannyasis, various gurus in ISKCON. One can listen to them. And then by chanting the holy names, one is also associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is why japa is of prime importance in the life of a sadhaka. Sadhaka cannot make progress without associating with Krishna or his devotees. So in a situation where you have no access to the physical association with devotees, you will have to resort to hearing constantly and chanting constantly. And these will also bring you the same result. So yes, association, quality association is of paramount importance. When devotees will join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, he would entrust them to very advanced devotees, like Swarup Damodar. When new devotees will come, he would entrust them to Swarup Damodar or to Haridas Thakur, like that, because they're very advanced. So they will give quality association. If you associate with somebody who's not very serious, somebody is always talking Prajalpa, Maya Sukha, Maya Kata, Gramya Kata, if you associate with such a person, you cannot make substantial advancement. So association is paramount in spiritual life. Even those who are advanced, they still seek association from the Lord and his exalted devotees. That is the instruction in the scripture. That even if we are so advanced, still we need association. So at any time in the practice of spiritual life, we cannot say we have advanced enough, we are matured enough, we don't need anyone's association. That's not true. Even to go back to the spiritual world, why do you want to go back to the spiritual world? Because there is a better association there. There's a higher association there. We want to go and associate with the Nitya Siddhas. We want to associate with Krishna's friends, Krishna's lovers, Krishna's parents, Krishna's servants. We want to associate with them in the spiritual world. That is why we want to go there. So association is very, very important. Any other point?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Dhanavat.
Yes, yesterday we discussed about the two types of occupational duties.
Okay.
And we said the one is the first occupational duty is the material world, that is sense gratification.
Yeah.
And the second is the spiritual world, that is the Lord's glorification.
That's right.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Very important. There are only two occupations. The path of sense gratification, and then and the path of the Lord's glorification. In the material world, everyone is absorbed in sense gratification, and there is little or no glorification of the Supreme Lord. And that is why we are miserable. That is why we are unhappy. That is why we are unfulfilled. We are not satisfied because we are missing the real thing. In the spiritual world, everyone is engaged in the glorification of the Lord. And so everyone is satisfied. So the choice is there. That is why Krishna has given us the free will to choose whether we want sense gratification or we want the Lord's glorification. And if we choose any of them, the results will come. The results will follow automatically. So that is very important. Any other point before we move on to today's discussion?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
We discussed about the Vanacari system and the responsibility of the king to take care of their subjects.
Yeah. Yeah, we discussed the Varnashraman system. Actually, specifically, we discussed the interdependence of the various Varnas. The Brahmanas provide knowledge, Brahmanas provide guidance, Brahmanas give counsel to the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas provide maintenance or sustenance and protection. Yes, protection. Similarly, the Kshatriyas provide protection for the Vaishyas, and the Vaishyas provide economic commodities, food, shelter, and so on. And then the Sudras, they provide service. So the Varna Ashrama system is a scientific system that brings about interdependence. It shows that no one can be an island. You always have to depend on somebody. So that is very, very important. Interdependence. Thank you very much. I think Stalika Prabhu also raised a question, so I want to touch on it a little bit before we proceed. The question of abusing women. the question of not taking care of women. There is a quotation from the Padma Purana that says the energy of the Lord, the original energy of the Lord is one, known as Mula Prakriti. Mula Prakriti. This Mula Prakriti, Mula means the root, the origin. This Mula Prakriti is actually non-different from Krishna. Krishna and his energies are one. But then to take service from the energies, to enjoy the energies, Krishna expands into the energies. And the Ladini Shakti, the internal potency, the Chit potency, gives Krishna the highest pleasure. Ladini Shakti. So Krishna's energy are grouped under three headings. We have the Antaranga Shakti, which is the internal potency. And then we have the Bahiranga Shakti, which is the external energy. And then we have the Tatastha, which is the middle, the imaginary potency. And then the Antaranga Shakti is further divided into Ladini Shakti, Sandini Shakti, and Samvit Shakti. Ladini is the pleasure potency. Samvit is the knowledge potency. And Sandini is relationships, eternal relationships potency. So the Ladini Shakti is manifested as Srimati Radharani, which is the female aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference between Srimati Radharani and Krishna. There's no difference. The difference is that Radharani is manifested just to give pleasure to the Supreme Lord. It is from this Radharani is called the Mula Prakriti, the original energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so it is from this Mula Prakriti, this original energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the females have descended. From Radharani, who is sometimes described as Mahalakshmi, is the greatest of all the Lakshmis. So Mahalakshmi. So from Radharani, the gopis have come, the Lakshmis have come. And from Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, Saraswati has come. Saraswati expanded from Lakshmi. So sometimes there is some confusion. Sometimes Saraswati is considered the wife of Lord Narayan, is considered the consort of Narayan. Some places, you'll find out in your study that sometimes Saraswati is described as a consort of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, simply because she is an expansion of Lakshmi. Of course, sometimes it is said there is Saraswati, there's a spiritual Saraswati, and there is a material Saraswati. Just as there is a spiritual Durga, and there is a material Durga. So from Saraswati, Savitri was manifested. Savitri is considered a wife of Brahma because the scriptures say Brahma has two wives, Saraswati and Savitri. When the sages were performing the yagya for Brahma in Pushkar, and Brahma's wife delayed, Saraswati delayed, the sages chanted mantras and produced Savitri, sometimes also called Gayatri. And Brahma married that woman in order to start a yagya, because it was time to start a yagya, but Saraswati wasn't coming. So sometimes we hear that Brahma has two wives. So from Saraswati, we have Savitri. From Savitri, we have Durga Devi, the consort of Lord Shiva. And from Durga Devi, all the ladies in this world, that is their source. They're all expanded from Durga Devi. So they are actually expansions of the Lord's internal potency. The body, the form of a female, Prakriti, is coming from Srimati Radharani. So when a man takes care of the wife very nicely, the energy of the Lord is worshipped. And when a man does not take care of the wife nicely, and worst of all, subjects the wife to corporal punishment, abuse, the energy of the Lord is offended. The energy of the Lord is slighted. He feels slighted. And that is why it is important that we don't abuse our women. Anytime a woman is abused, the energy of the Lord is slighted. And the consequences are very severe. Connected to Varna Sanskaras, because of the delicate nature of a life of a woman, nature has designed that she must always be under the protection of three personalities. First, the father. The father is the immediate authority. And when she's of marriageable age, the father finds a suitable boy and hands her over Kanyandana as a donation, as charity, and is considered one of the greatest pious activities to donate your daughter, to give your daughter to a suitable boy to marry, is considered one of the greatest charities a man can do. And so when the girl is handed over to the husband, immediately the husband becomes the protector. And when the husband leaves for the forest as a vanaprastha or a sannyasi, the senior son becomes the guide. Like in the case of Devahuti, we are going to see that in this pastime. When Kandarma Muni left home, Devahuti took shelter of his young son, Kapila Dev. So, if this is practice, there is no question of Varna Samskaras. Varna Samskaras will happen. Unwanted children will happen as soon as there is a leeway, as soon as we give the opportunity. If the woman is not protected, if the parents are irresponsible, the husband is irresponsible, the grown-up children are irresponsible, there are always a type of men, there are always a class of men who would want to exploit women. They want to have multiple sex partners. And so such men, such hungry men, would pollute these women and sometimes even impregnate them. And those children are Varna Samskaras. They are responsible for the chaotic situation in the world today. All the armed robbery, all the stealing, all the corruption, it is coming from Varna Samskaras. In fact, in some cultures, you don't even know who your father is. In some cultures, you can't tell who is your father. They are Varna Samskaras. Because the women are allowed to flirt around and pick seed from anywhere. No wonder we are in problem in Ghana. Because Varna Samskaras are ruling the country. Sorry to say. Some don't know their fathers because their mothers were allowed to flirt with anybody and bring the seed. This is not Vedic. It is not. It's a very serious thing. But if you talk, they will target you as an enemy. But that is the truth. It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. It is mentioned elsewhere else. That when the father is irresponsible, the husband is irresponsible, the grown-up children are irresponsible, then the women are exploited. And the children that are born, they don't even know their fathers. They don't know their parents. And so no proper training, no proper guidance. So they become Varna Samskaras. And they will bring trouble to the whole world. So this is just what I wanted to say concerning the question Salika Prabhu raised yesterday. I hope this will satisfy his
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so very much. You've taken it beyond just answering, but elucidating the whole of the absolute truth, because that is the nature of the Bhagavatas, to elucidate the absolute truth to the common man. And I'm very happy the way, from the angle from where you took it up, because it takes it from the beginning and to the present day situation. So there is no gap in between to know the important role of the woman, and then relating it to the present situation that is permitting in Ghana, but not just only in Ghana, in all the countries of the world. There is this serious influence of Vanacari. And one coming from the background of a Vedic study knows that the root cause of all of the problem in the world is as a result of lack of protection of women. And you're taking it from the personal, individual, marital life, how the important role of a woman to society and to even to the spiritual. So thank you so much. It's a beautiful answer. And I think I've learned some few more things than I did know in terms of the relationship with women and the peace development. I had a conference recently, and I was speaking on the problems of the world. Religious leaders to the rescue. And we have a project that we're executing also tomorrow. We're talking from the angle of drug abuse and tackling the problem of drug abuse and religious leaders to the rescue. So I was doing a paper of a presentation in that, and I was thinking, reflecting. That was why I asked that question to enrich my write-up. So I was basing my presentation from the angle of the primary role of religious leaders. And I was taking it from the fact that the religious leaders have secondary responsibilities, but primarily they have three responsibilities. The first is to protect the womanhood. And because they are embodiment of the Shastra, the scriptures, and represent. So therefore, their first duty to the society is to make sure that women are protected. Second, the children should be protected. And then the elderly should be protected. If the religious leaders see to this, then all of the vices that we see in the society will be curbed. But I wanted something to buttress my thinking line. So that was why I asked the question yesterday. So I'm revealing the reason why I asked the question for enhancing my preaching. So when I was coming from this perspective, I was trying to find out, would this be justifiable? But you have actually cleared my doubt, and then you have also enriched my understanding from the angle from which I'm taking the subject matter. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. We thank Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is enriching our lives with his wonderful, wonderful presentation of the Vedic version. And our duty is simply to repeat, is to share this knowledge.
Yeah.
So in fact, yesterday, I was I'm treating the fifth canto with the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education, Bhakti Vaibhava. And then we came across, we are treating the activities of Priyavrata Maharaj. Activities of Priyavrata Maharaj. You also get there in this, I think it's about the 20th unit or 21st unit. You'll get there. So, and we came across very interesting discussions. How women are actually the source of inspiration for their husbands. That is how they are created, to give inspiration to their husbands. And it says that if you're a businessman, you're an administrator, unless you're a sannyasi, sannyasis and brahmacharis, they have nothing to do with women. But the rest of the world, they have to derive their inspiration. In fact, Prabhupada mentions that good intelligence comes from a chaste woman. If your woman is very chaste and she's upright, she serves as a source of good intelligence. She serves as a source of inspiration. He serves as a source of energy, support. And that is why they're saying that for every successful man,
behind.
In fact, that's right. It is very deep. That statement is very deep, but they just say it, they just pass it. It's very deep. And then we're talking about how the kings, that is why the kings are allowed to marry more than one wife. It's explaining the reasons for polygamy. The Kshatriyas are allowed to marry more than one wife because they have so many responsibilities. And so they need more inspiration, more intelligence, more guidance, more support from their wives. And so, hence the need for Kshatriyas to have more than one wife. Because they can draw more energy, they can draw more support, they can draw more intelligence, they can draw more inspiration to be able to do what they have to do for the benefit of the citizens. So a very interesting discussion yesterday. So then we can, when we have this kind of understanding, then we can have a proper perspective of the role of women. The materialists, the demons, they only see the woman as a sex machine. an object of their senses. Finish. They don't see the woman from this perspective. But the devotees and people who are students of Vedic knowledge, they can see that the woman is not just an object of sense gratification. God did not provide a female just for sense gratification. He provided a female body for a reason. And that is why we see when Brahma decided that the population of the world has to be increased, he created Manu and his wife. When Prithu Maharaj had to incarnate to take care of the estate, he came along with his wife. So the female body is such that it has a lot of potency because it's coming from the Mula Prakriti, it's coming from Srimati Radharani. And even Krishna depends on Radharani. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna depends on Srimati Radharani. It is mentioned somewhere that when Krishna was in Dwaraka, he did not want to marry so many wives. Because Krishna's father had 16 wives. Vasudeva had 16 wives. So Krishna was thinking, why should I marry more than my father? So originally Krishna married 8 queens. They are called the principal queens, 8 queens. Rukmini, Satyabhama, and the rest of them. There were 8. But then he was a king of Dwaraka. And just to support the need for a king to have many wives, Krishna arranged that the 16,100 girls were captured by Narakasur. And
if I'm one, I will have blow you up in this car. My friend, if I'm one, I will have finished you because you are not worthy of being a human being. Look at you.
I'm a human being.
Like that, Prabhu.
If you don't know your limit, definitely you
What
find
limit
yourself.
do you know? But what do you know about it? What limit do you know?
that, what is that?
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, it's from my hand.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So what was I saying?
Sorry for that distraction.
Yeah.
You were explaining Krishna.
Krishna's taking 8. Krishna married 8 queens.
And then
Narakasura.
yes.
Narakasura had captured 16,100 princesses.
Yes.
Kept them in his palace. So these ladies, they pray to Krishna, they send message to Krishna to come and deliver them. And Krishna went and killed the demon Narakasura and delivered them. And Krishna said, okay, I've done my job. You go your way, I go my way. I've delivered you. But the lady said, no, you haven't finished the job. We have stayed with this demon for a long period. No man would accept us as wives. In the Vedic times, if a girl should stay one day outside of the father's home, or one day outside of the husband's home, or one day outside of the senior son's care, he is considered unchaste. He is considered polluted. And nobody would accept you as a chaste woman. So they said they have stayed with Narakasura for several months, if not years. And so no reasonable man, no intelligent man would accept them as wives. So Lord Krishna, we have done one part of the job, and the other part of the job, where are we going to go? All of these 16,100 girls. So better you just accept us. Since you are the Supreme Lord, you are not limited. Please accept us. And besides, you are a king. You are Dwarkanath. You are the king of Dwaraka. There is no limitation to how many wives you should have. Why should you have only 8 wives? Please do us a favor. So, because of the prayers and cries of these unfortunate princesses, Krishna relented. Krishna accepted them as his wives. And then, by this pastime, Krishna also demonstrated that for a Kshatriya, actually there's no limit of the number of wives he should have, because these women, if they're chaste, they provide a lot of energy to the husband. They provide a lot of intelligence to the husband. They provide a lot of inspiration to the husband. They give a lot of support to the husband. And as a king, you are responsible for the whole state. You need unlimited intelligence, unlimited inspiration, unlimited energy to execute your duty. So let us not, we are digressing from our main topic.
Yeah, sorry, I took us. It's just that I needed to get some.
I think you get something from here.
Yeah. I think I appreciate that. And I like the fact, the emphasis you laid when you mentioned the Brahma, when it was to have the purpose for Savitri being created, showing the importance of the woman.
That's right.
That's a very good point also.
Yeah, you cannot do sacrifice without your wife. You cannot do sacrifice without your wife.
Yeah. So it's important.
It's incomplete.
Very important. It's very important.
Even Brahma.
That's the program we're having tomorrow that I was talking about. That's why I shared in the chat room. Okay,
good. So anyway, let's proceed from here. We've already gone 48 minutes into the Anyway, it's part of the Vedic education. So we are going to text 6, which says that Dishtya me Bhagavan Drishto Durdaso yo Kritatmanam Dishtya Padaraja Sprishtam Shrishna me Bhavata Shivam. It is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head the blessed dust of your feet. So the slide says, one becomes a Mahat by the grace of another Mahat, the spiritual master. The Parampara system of disciplic succession is very important as a means of spiritual success. One becomes a Mahat by the grace of his Mahat spiritual master. If one takes shelter of the lotus feet of a great soul, there is every possibility of one's also becoming a great soul. When Maharaj Rahugana asked Jad Bharat about his wonderful achievement of spiritual success, he replied to the king that spiritual success is not possible simply by following rituals of religion or simply by converting oneself into a sannyasi or offering sacrifices as recommended in the scriptures. So one becomes a Mahat by the grace of another Mahat. Mahatpada Rajo Abhishekam, without smearing the dust of the lotus feet of a great soul over our body, it is not possible to become a Mahat. Just like one cannot become a doctor, a medical doctor from his home, he has to go to a medical school and be trained by an experienced physician and certified before he can practice. Similarly, one cannot become a lawyer, a judge from his bedroom. You have to go to a law school and be trained by professional lawyers, and they will test you, examine you, and then they would admit you into the bar association when you've qualified. So similarly, one cannot just become a pure devotee, an advanced devotee, a Mahatma, without the touch of another Mahatma. So any common man can rise to the topmost stage of spiritual perfection by taking shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, by taking shelter of a great soul. That is the message King Manu, Swayambhuva Manu is making this statement to Kandarma Muni. To come across a saintly person is a great fortune. So the king is very happy that he has come across such an exalted person. So that is our fortune. Our fortune is that we have met great devotees and we're inspired by them. And because of their inspiration, we have remained in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada inspired everybody. Before Srila Prabhupada went to America, there were no devotees, there were no Vaishnavas. But just by the association of one single personality, Srila Prabhupada, after 50 years, the whole world is full of Vaishnavas, even including Africa. 50 years ago, it would have been a dream to think that there will be Vaishnavas in this part of the world, because nothing was known about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I've never heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu until I met Srila Prabhupada's teachings. I read his books. I met his devotees. I never heard of Mahaprabhu. So, to be a Mahat, you have to get the mercy of a Mahat. So that is the process. That is the system. Text 7. Somebody like to read text 7?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isya Swamiya Nisistuyam Kritas Chanugraho Mahan Apavritai Kanarandre Jasa Disyo Sati Giraha. Translation. I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. The slides. faithful execution of the instructions of spiritual master brings perfection. The combination, the instruction of the spiritual master, and the faithful execution of the instructions by the disciple makes the entire process perfect. You should faithfully try to execute that particular instruction and should consider that is life and soul. The faithful execution of the instruction which he receives from the spiritual master is the only duty of a disciple, and that will bring in perfection. One should be very careful to receive the message from the spiritual master through the ears and execute it faithfully. That will make one's life successful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the execution of the instructions of the spiritual master are paramount for a sincere disciple. The spiritual master's desire is to elevate everyone. The spiritual master's program is to give everyone the chance to get connected to Krishna. And therefore, when his instructions are executed, it is not only for the benefit of the disciple who executes the instruction, but it is also good for many more people yet unborn. Because the spiritual master's desire, the spiritual master's program is how to give everyone Krishna. He wants to connect everyone to Krishna. So his number one desire is to give everybody Krishna. Because he knows Krishna is a real gift that every living entity needs. But people don't know. So the spiritual master's duty is to give everybody Krishna. And the disciples will assist the spiritual master in distributing Krishna. So when the disciples execute the order of the spiritual master, it is not only for their benefit, it is for the benefit of the entire world. Because by executing that instruction, it benefits a lot of people. Like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, he ordered Srila Prabhupada. He said, you are an English-speaking Indian, why don't you preach in English? And if you happen to make some money, why don't you print some books? So this instruction was given as far back as 1922. But Prabhupada was meditating on this instruction for 44 years. And so in 1966, after 44 years, Srila Prabhupada executed that order of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And this is the result. When Prabhupada executed that order, it is not only for his benefit, it is for the benefit of the entire world. Just that instruction Srila Prabhupada received from Bhakti Siddhanta, that instruction has benefited the entire world. So when the Guru gives an instruction, the instruction is not just for the disciple alone, it is actually meant to bring more people to the lotus feet of Krishna. So a serious disciple does not joke with the instructions of the spiritual master. Actually, our spiritual advancement, our commitment, our seriousness, dedication, determination are all determined by our commitment to the orders of the spiritual master. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says in his commentary to the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasaya Buddhir, spiritual intelligence. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that carrying out the order of the spiritual master is actually the goal, the life of a disciple. So Swayambhuva Manu is the emperor of the world. And he has come in touch with Mahamuni, Kandarma Muni, and is praising him. He's praising him. And Swayambhuva Manu is not an ordinary king. He's a direct son of Brahma. He's the first emperor of the world. Very exalted personality. Towards the end of this chapter, we will see how exalted Swayambhuva Manu is. When he got his daughter married and he went back to his Varishmati, his capital city, he encouraged devotional service. He promoted devotional service. So towards the end of this chapter, we will see the exalted consciousness of Swayambhuva Manu. So therefore, these statements he's making are not just for fun, but they mean a lot to him and to all spiritual aspirants, to all sadhakas. So the more we are committed to the orders of the Guru, the more we would make advancement. That is for sure. Anyone who is committed to the orders of the spiritual master, making the order of the spiritual master his life and soul, such a devotee will definitely make advancement. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta had so many disciples, but Srila Prabhupada had become the most glorious. He has become the most prominent of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's disciples. Why? Because he carried the instruction, of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakuras, to the Western world. So this is important for us as well, since we are disciples and we want to make advancement on the path of Krishna consciousness. Text 8. Somebody can read text 8.
Let me take it.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the spiritual master is satisfied.
No, you read the verse first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sabhavandu hitre sneha parikristatmano mama. Oh, great says to listen to the prayer of my humble self, for my mind is troubled by affection for my daughter.
Okay. The slide.
Just a minute. When a disciple is master, having received his message sincerely, generally, a pure devotee of the Lord or a pure disciple of a bona fide spiritual master does not ask any favor either from the Lord or the spiritual master. But even if there is a need to ask a favor from the spiritual master, one cannot ask the favor without satisfying him fully. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. When the spiritual master is satisfied, he can grant favors. That is true.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada was saying in one lecture, I think this morning or yesterday, he was saying that one is not supposed to instruct people who are not his disciples. That unless one accepts the position of a disciple, one doesn't have the right to instruct that person. Somewhere else is also mentioned that unless one renders service to the spiritual master, one does not have the right to inquire from him. And that is coming from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying, Tanvidi pranipratena pariprasnena sevaya. That first of all, one must render some service to the spiritual master. You approach the spiritual master in a service attitude, in a service mood. And then there is submissive inquiry. So the spiritual master can grant one some favors when he is pleased with the disciples' activities, when he's pleased when the disciples surrender. The more we try to surrender to the spiritual master, the more we try to please the spiritual master, the more the spiritual master will see how we are trying to serve, how we are trying to assist, how we are trying to promote his mission of spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere. And then the spiritual master will start thinking about us favorably. That favorable disposition towards the disciple is very crucial because Krishna acts on that favorable disposition. When the saintly mind is favorably disposed towards you, Krishna has no choice. He has to also become favorably disposed. And when the saintly mind is unhappy with a person, Krishna also becomes unhappy. So therefore, seeking the favors of the spiritual master or saintly people is important because saintly people, they actually control Krishna's mood. So therefore, we can only ask for favors when we have satisfied the spiritual master. Text 9. Somebody like to read text 9?
I'll read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Priyavrata napadoho swaseyam dohita mama anveshanti patim yuktam vayo sila gunadibi. My daughter is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapad. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities.
Okay, slide.
The need for arranged marriage is, it is clear that although the daughter was mature in age and qualities, She did not go out and find her husband independently. She expressed her desire for a suitable husband, corresponding to her character, age, and quality. And the father himself, out of affection for his daughter, took charge of finding such a husband.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So here, Uttanapat, Vaibhava Manu is mentioning his son's names. My daughter is a sister of Priyavrat and Uttanapat. Why does Vaibhava Manu mention his son's names? Any idea? You are looking for a husband for your daughter. Then you go mentioning your son's names. What has that got to do with your daughter getting a husband?
Okay,
So, yes?
I'm thinking that because Priyavata and Uttanapat are very, very exalted personalities.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Prabhupada mentions in the purport. He said the purpose of Manu's introducing his daughter as a sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapat, two great kings, was to convince the sage that the girl came from a great family. The girl came from a great heritage. Nobody wants to marry a street girl. No, they want to marry from a very responsible family. So
Unfortunately, these days,
yeah,
the greatness is considered by the amount of money, not about.
you have.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he's talking about. He mentioned
Character.
3 very interesting qualities.
That's right.
But now it is not. These qualities are not looked at. The quality that is looked primarily is how much money does the
the family
groom or the bridegroom family has.
That's right. That's the paramount quality now in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, money has taken over.
Canto.
Yeah, 12 canto gives us the solution, the answer. Yeah. So but here we see that they're looking for a person of character and a person with good qualities. And therefore, Swayambhuva Manu is describing the great heritage, the high family heritage that his daughter is coming from, to convince the husband to be Kandarma Muni. Let's see, I'm not bringing you some riff-raff lady. I'm not bringing you some girl from the street. I'm bringing you a very responsible daughter from a very high family, like Uttanapat, like Priyavrat. So please accept. Like that. So that's the reason why Manu is making this statement. And the slide is saying that it is most important to go for arranged marriages, because arranged marriages is good because it studies the nature of the woman and studies the nature of the man. It matches their natures, their disposition, their characters, and then when it is compatible, the marriage is allowed. So even though Devahuti wanted a husband, but she did not go looking for a husband. She entrusted that in the hands of the parents. And the parents, being responsible, they took it up. And they went around the whole planet looking for a suitable husband. And they came across such an exalted yogi like Mahamuni Kandarma. So that should be the standard. The standard should be parents should facilitate the marriages of their daughters and sons based on disposition, based on character, based on compatibility, based on some internal qualities, internal factors that is required for a stable family. The stability of a family is very important. The family unit is described as the microcosm of the macrocosm of the universe. So if the family unit is unstable, if the family unit is unhappy, if the family unit is chaotic, then obviously the whole universe will be full of chaotic family units, and the whole universe become chaotic. So therefore, the Vedic system is to make sure that the prospective husband and wife, they match to a certain degree, certain percentage before they are brought together. So Vaibhava Manu taking up that
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think Srivas Vanacari had a challenge with his network. Yes, but he's still online. He's very much online. I think maybe like NEPA, maybe light went off also because his screen is completely dark, and that affects his Wi-Fi or something. Okay, but it's back here. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, my light went off.
Yeah, I thought that's my
My light
We think it's only in Nigeria lights used to.
Yeah, my light went off.
yeah, it's completely off now. So we wait a little bit. So we have an interlude.
I think it's affecting all of us.
Okay.
Yeah, all affected.
Yeah. Yeah, Ghana light is different in that it's It hardly goes off, but when it goes off, it comes back too soon. It makes it better.
So it's an African problem, not Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria is a little bit on the extreme, but all African countries have challenges. But it's just that Nigeria, the big man with big problem, has a bigger problem.
You don't know how we are suffering in Ghana.
Yeah, that's the perception. Everybody thinks I'm the most suffering. Nature of material world. Yeah, you're welcome, Srivas Vanacari. Yeah, the network is still.
Yeah, my power went off. My power went off, so it disrupted the internet. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah. It's the connection. Yeah, hearing me? Okay.
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay.
We're still not able to hear you clearly.
Hearing from authority better than personal experience. Okay, first I read the verse that the moment she had, I read the verse, but I didn't read the translation. What is happening? You are not hearing me?
Yeah, it was dragging, but we can hear you now.
What is happening? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. All right. So I said I read the verse, the sun. Hare Krishna.
So maybe what we can do is that maybe you can shut it down and relog in because the network is rebooting. So
you're not hearing me?
Yeah, it's going and coming. It's fluctuating. So maybe the suggestion could be that you could log out completely, refresh, and then relog in again. So it gives you a fresh connection. Yeah, it's dragging. It's dragging.
Or maybe Maharaj can off the video.
Yeah, I think what it needs to do is to shut down completely.
Okay.
Since it's just reconnecting the network back, if you shut down and restart all over, it may pick up.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay, so you're hearing me now?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so I read the Sanskrit. I didn't read the translation. The translation says the moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. At the moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you. And the slide says, hearing from authority better than personal experience. Hearing from an authority is a better experience than gaining personal understanding. She heard from Narada Muni that Kadarma Muni was just fit to be her husband. Therefore, she became fixed in her heart. She would marry him, and she expressed her desire to her father, who therefore brought her before him. So, never met
Yeah, the network is wobbling now.
was living in a city.
Your network is wobbling.
And Kadarmani was living in the forest, Bindu Sarovar, in the Hermitage. So they never met.
Yeah, he's going through a lot of challenges with the network. So
Maybe it's on generator, and generator devotee is not full.
I think the network is not reset
It's
properly.
on generator.
What is
Yeah,
the Rasuran Prabhu?
He uses electricity or this in solar.
Oh, solar, okay. You are very unfortunate.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Bala Vajayo Girivara Dhari Gopijana Bala Vajayo Girivara Dhari Yasodhanandana Jaya Brajjan Ranjana Yasodhanandana Jaya Brajjan Ranjana Yasodhanandana जमुना तीरवनचारी गयो कुञ्ज बिहारी जमुना तीरवनचारी गयो कुञ्ज बिहारी यशोदानन्दन जयो ब्रज जन रञ्जन जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी।
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Maharaj.
Then we can continue. This is technology. This is the problem with technology. I'm trying to share. It says stop sharing. Okay. Share. Okay. So we're discussing this verse. The hearing from authority is better than personal experience. And the Mahuti had no access of meeting Kadarma Muni, but Narada Muni, who used to visit the palaces of kings, Narada Muni brought the news of Kadarma Muni to Devahuti. Narada came and described the Giri, and Devahuti became attracted by hearing from Narada Muni. So here, Prabhupada is saying hearing from an authority is better than personal experience. In the first place, he never met Kadarma Muni, but just by hearing from Narada Muni, who is an authority, she accepted whatever Narada Muni told her about her husband to be Kadarma Muni. And based on that information, she developed attachment to Kadarma Muni. So here, the king is telling Kadarma Muni that just by hearing about you from Narada Muni, she became inclined to marry you. And that is why we have brought her here. So, hearing from authority is most important. Receiving knowledge from authority is very important. It is better than trying to experience it ourselves. It is better than trying to understand it by ourselves. When it is presented by authorities, then things are clearer. Things are straight to the point. So this is
बिहारी गोपी जाना वाला बाजयो गिरिवर धारी गोपी जाना वाला बाजयो गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजन 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 जमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जन रंजन जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
Hare Krishna. We have about left in this section, but it appears Prabhu's network is the network seems to be not cooperating with him. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to move the remaining part of the lecture to next week. We'll wait for another 5 minutes. If he's not able to make it, we may have to call it a day here. So in the 5 minutes, I'll play another version and see.
Before that, Prabhu,
Yes.
I want to seize this opportunity to speak a little bit about the burial arrangement that took place.
No, this is a record. This is a recorded live.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
This is a recorded live Bhagavatam class. So
okay.
We can discuss that when we finish the class officially. So I guess we'll have to stop here officially the class for today, so that we'll continue next time, since probably we cannot make it back. So we thank you all for being part of this class, and we hope to continue from text number 10 next week, Saturday, when we come back for the Bhakti Vaibhava class. Thank you very much. So even though Prabhu is not here, let us all loudly chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to appreciate the class for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare.
Panchakarpatarubyas Chakri Pasnubhyas Vascha Patitanam Pavashnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Anantakuti Vaishnava Brindiki Jai. Jai Gaura Piminande.